Welcome, everyone, to HWE Recall Episode 1. HWE Recall, a new series that will always air on Sunday nights, where we will be discussing about HWE history, the history of HWE, what we started years ago, myself and someone named Damien Skull, merging HWE and MEW together to fulfill its assignment, bringing HWE to the top. And I believe we did. There's a lot of history, a lot of memories, a lot of moments, and we're going to discuss all of that right here, right now. Basically, we're always going to be discussing a matchup that has happened in HWE or MEW. And that matchup will air on Tuesdays as part of the HWE/MEW Classic Series. So you guys don't want to miss Tuesday nights where we're gonna host HWE/MEW Classic episodes, and on Tuesday there will be the Stamina Slam 8-man Gauntlet Match that we witnessed at Stamina Slam 2025, where Haunted Jacob had to defend his global championship in a huge matchup that involved names like Skeletor, the Black Stinger, Soul, Zhane Saint Savior, and many more. That matchup airs as our first ever episode on Season 2 for HWE/MEW Classic. The Season 1 playlist of the Classic episodes, they're all on our channel as part of the Season 1 playlist. Go check that out. Today, we'll be discussing that match. I will be joined by Zhane Saint Savior first, then I'll be joined by Damien Skull, and then to end it off, Shakeem Empire. I'll be interviewing them, asking them questions, starting discussions on that match, that topic, and we'll probably discuss a lot more about HWE, and maybe we might even reach our personal lives. That is what HWE Recall is all about, is to recall what happened in the HWE history, and we're going to share behind the stage moments and other stories that you guys may have never ever heard. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first guest, and our first guest is the fire of the heavens, Zhane Saint Savior. Welcome, Zhane.
Thank you for having me.
No
Thank you
problem.
for having me.
It is really nice to have you, Zhane. People might not know this, but we had signed you in MEW. And once we signed you to MEW, unfortunately, MEW closed its doors and never came back. So I am really glad you had the chance to experience HWE, as a performer, as a superstar, and to be part of our stories and to be part of these interactions with fellow superstars. So that is really nice. So Zhane, how are we doing?
Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. I just been doing a lot with my life, man. Outside of being a performer. I'm graduating high school pretty soon. I'll be happily joining college as a digital filmmaker, and yeah, pretty much basically my life in a nutshell. Just doing pretty great. Doing pretty great.
That's awesome, and I'm glad you're doing great. Um, as you know, we're talking about the Stamina Slam Gauntlet match, and we all know you were part of that matchup. But what was really, really insane for you, at least, you started the match. entrant number 1 as part of this 8-man gauntlet match, and you and your rival at the time, Soul. Here's my first question. Before entering this Stamina Slam 8-man gauntlet match, where were you at mentally? Where were you at mentally as a performer, knowing that you had to go one-on-one against Soul and possibly have to reach till the end to win that title?
I mean, mentally, I was really surprised that I was able to be in that matchup with so many great competitors. That night alone was like almost my best night. And like I try to do everything in my power to win the HWE Global Championship as hard as I can. And yes, I fell short, but if it wasn't for that hacker known as Soul, I mean, you probably could have saw me actually go through the end if I had to. And
Absolutely.
mentally, I was, after taking that loss against Soul, I mean, mentally, I was just like, I felt like I was at a downward spiral almost.
Mm-hmm.
But then when that match really came, I really, really, really had all those type of nerves coming into that match. I mean, I walked into that match with a purpose, and that purpose was to become the global champion. And that purpose was to eliminate anybody that was in that match, including the mystery opponents who we already know. If you guys watch that match alone, please check it out. It was a great match. I personally had a great showing. And
Absolutely. And in the match, I was rewatching it, and the commentator mentioned that you had struggled to gain momentum, and it is true. I mean, you went to Outspoke in our first HWE Premium Live event. You went against Sinister in a huge match, let's admit it, for the global title in Sinister's first title defense in HWE. It was a huge match. But then you went to Extreme Yard and you lost to Soul. You had no momentum going. Absolutely nothing going. And the commentator mentioned it. So did you feel this extra pressure knowing that you had to pin Soul? Did you have this extra pressure?
at Extreme Yard, I had that pressure to really just go out there and actually, you know, beat Soul as my enemy. That night alone, yes, I had major pressure. I was like, when I was announced to start first with Soul, I mean,
Yeah. Mm.
it was just like it was really a lot of pressure on me. But when I pinned him, I felt like the pressure wore off until he came out at the end of me and Gladiator's match. Also, one thing I would like to point out, I went through so many theme changes throughout this era, and I'll point that out at like a later point of this stream. But one thing I would always mention is that theme gives you the preference. The themes that I've had gives you the preference of what I'm gonna be feeling like.
Mm-hmm.
And the theme that I used, and I will definitely talk about this like at a later time behind the scenes, and I would talk about like behind the scenes and all that stuff. I went through a lot of finisher changes, moveset changes, theme changes, and I've only used those preference as me becoming a brand new star in the horizon of
Yep.
HWE. That's why I have secretly called myself the Prince of HWE because I've went through a lot of pressure to get to where I am to get to where I am at this moment. And you know what? I can't really feel bad about it, but in that moment alone, when me and Soul were starting off, yes, I had massive pressure, and I finally got the chance to finally end that pressure
And
without
and
feeling.
and that's what I want to talk about. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's what I want to talk about. You finally pinned Soul. So how did that moment feel for you? As we know, it then led to that final matchup at Hail to the King, in that incredible first blood match. But how did finally beating Soul? How did that feel? Do you feel this was really the breakout performance of Zhane Saint Savior?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, there's plenty of breakout moments in my career, but he show out why I am the fire of the heavens, why I am the son of the song, and why I represent who I am as a personal point of HWE. And I still stick out to that statement today.
So, really, Zane, at least in my eyes, and you said it is a breakout performance. I feel this was the rise of Zane Saint Savior. People say the rise of Zane Saint Savior is at Outspoken. You got your match, your huge main event match. Yeah, sure. People say it was an
And
yeah. Go ahead.
and as much as I truly would like to say this, um, in some ways it was because of the expense of you getting taken out. And I
Mm,
guess
yeah, true.
in a way, in a way, I felt like I had an ego coming into that match when I signed the contract, and alone and through a lot of the doubters and through all the way the opportunities. And I basically took that opportunity, walked in to Outspoken, showed who the Fire of the Heavens is, and you know what? To that day and age, that still remains a pivotal point in my career, and I wish I could do more.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Um, I believe you did mention it. Once you faced off Gladiator, Soul, of course, Soul. He returned and he cost you against Gladiator. At that point, the commentator mentioned you had no momentum going to the match, but now you're finally picking up all the momentum. It's bigger than ever, and then Soul comes, distracts you, and Gladiator's able to hit that spear from Rome. What were your thoughts at that moment? Clearly anger,
I
I
was,
suppose.
I was, I was pissed off. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw my reaction throughout that night. You if you watched that night completely, if you watched back the match, you would understand my frustration as a moment because I had the biggest opportunity of my career, and for it to be squandered by a hacking bastard known as Soul. I mean, at that point in age, he was my number one enemy. He was my red eye, and at that point in day, I I still look back at that moment and realize what could have changed that night.
Absolutely. And it ended bad for you, but I feel you kind of picked it up later on when Soul came back as a mystery entrant, I believe. He returned in the Gauntlet match for a second time. We can talk about it all day about how unfair it is. But anyways, he came back, and during that moment, that match he had with Skeletor, the Uncle Howdy mask uh, showed up on that chair. Can I ask, was this you? Was this a setup for revenge against Soul? I knew it. I knew it. Of course. I knew it.
Oh, was it sweet, sweet little revenge? Oh, it was me. It was me that pulled the strings. So I bet you were watching this right now. I was the guy. That was the reason why the Uncle Howdy mask was there. I was the reason why you lost your second shot, buddy. And guess what? And guess what? That payback felt very sweet when I made you bleed. And trust me, I still got a bit of an ego on me. I mean, hey, kind of hard not to when you beat a hacker and a cheater.
Voila.
And sometimes you gotta play into his mindset. So I played into his mindset. And then I remembered back from the old days when he had the Uncle Howdy mask and went to Uncle Howdy dojo. And I realized, why not play that against him? So I played it against him. He got eliminated. Payback was most certainly a beat.
I'm glad. I'm glad you got revenge on Soul. Because, first of all, I thought him rejoining the Gauntlet match, I thought was absolutely bonkers. But, anyways.
Shoot, this dragon necklace of my thing was exactly why. This is a reminder to bring back why. I am the hacker hunter. I am the guy in charge. And I mean, deep down inside, if I was the one pulling the strings, I wouldn't even have this today. If I wasn't.
Zane, I'd like to read you a comment that someone made on the YouTube live. It's this person, Randy Orton RKO, who says, "I'll RKO Zane." And any comments on anyone who's doubting you, who's been doubting you your whole career, what do you have to say to them?
For anybody that's watching this, if you are ever doubting my talent, if you are ever doubting me as a competitor, I want you to come to HWE, face me in the ring, and I'm going to show you exactly why I am the fire of the heavens. I mean, hell, I might not even have the best record in the company, but I can damn sure tell you, I will happily take those voices and turn it all into believers with one wings of ashes. And you're going to be counting in your voices 1, 2, 3. Mwah!
Well said. Well said. I'm one of the people, as Skeletor, but as a person, as Chris, I've never doubted you. All right? Never. I'm telling you face to face, I always knew there was something in you. I always knew it. That's why we signed you to MEW at the first place. Zane, I have a couple more questions, and this is going to cause debates for sure. Here's my question. Haunted Jacob, as we know, was the global champion, entering the Stamina Slam Gauntlet match. As a champion, his reward, his advantage, was that he would enter the match last. Was that fair? Or would you have rather that he would have entered at number 1 of the Stamina Slam Gauntlet match? But then people are going to say, well, that's unfair for the champion. He's a champ. He doesn't deserve to get a huge disadvantage by going at number 1. What do you think?
In my mind, I feel like he should have entered at any point of the match. I mean, just so there would be easy pickings. I mean, you saw what he went through. I mean, you were there.
Yep.
And I mean, with his match with Sinister, I mean, I kind of looked back at that match and also realized myself those injured ribs were able for the taking. And I feel like if he was at any point of the match, if he was even if he was number 1, number 2, hell, maybe even 4, he would have happily been taken out no matter the situation. No, it didn't matter if it was me, Soul, or really anybody else at that moment. I mean, at some point in age, I gotta prove the haunted one why you can never diffuse the flame.
And okay, sort of calling out Haunted Jacob. And there's a comment. There's a comment by Super Mario Plush 2006, and he says that we kind of need a Jacob against Zhane Saint Savior match. When are we getting that?
Well, quote unquote, let me say this. Let me say this as a brother. What's up, my broken choir and brethren? What's up, my guy? What's up, Super Mario Plus 2006, aka J Pro, aka the man that is that damn sadistic. Yes, I gave you a shout out, my brother. Trust me, eventually, and I mean eventually, I will simply, I pray to God. I pray to God that we will eventually have a match. I mean, I pray that on everything I love.
I'm lucky enough that I faced Haunted Jacob many times. Great performer. He's really something else once you face him, and you realize why he's so huge in HWE. And one more question for you, Zane. Final hours coming up. July
Yeah,
30th, July 31st. Where are you on the card? What's going on?
I mean, management might be holding me back. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of competitors. I feel like I want to. I feel like I want to compete. I want Genji Rice here again. I want to. I want to take Haunted Jacob's HWE World Championship. I want to take his global championship. I mean, eh, you know, I would even want to face guys again like Damien Skull, like Shakeem Empire, like
Sinister?
Wyatt, like Sinister, anybody at Final Round. I mean, provenly so, they've given me the best. They proven me so. I've looked at those guys and they've made me. They've basically made me the guy that I am today. I respect these guys. I will always respect these guys, even though some of them are very controversial. I still respect them. And if you ever want to doubt me for that, if you want to call me out on it, then fight me, and I'll actually show you what I learned from them.
Absolutely. Zane, it was a pleasure having you on HWE Recall. Everyone, as mentioned, don't miss HWE/MEW Classic. That all goes down on Tuesday, where we will re-premiere the 8-man Gauntlet match. Zane Saint Savior, it was an absolute pleasure, and I wish you good luck heading into Final Hour. Looking forward to see you on the Final Days episodes. Very excited to see you. To see what's next for the Fire of the Heavens. Zane, have a good night. And up next, Damien Skull. Zane, thank you. Damien Skull up next after this short break. Save the storm. Save the night. In the darkness, find the light. As the world shatters, we rise. In unity, defying demise. Welcome all to HWE Recall. I was about to say HWE Final Hour, but Final Hour is not right now. Instead, HWE Final Hour is on July 30th and July 31st. Confirmed matches for now: Damien Skull and Shakeem Empire go at it in a career versus career match at a HWE Final event, as well as Gladiator against Sinister, two of the greatest masked men in HWE, go at it in a last man standing match that is confirmed for Final Hour, as well as Wyatt, who makes his huge return as Golden Weight Champion to face a mystery superstar in a street fight. So that will be quite the 2 nights, because it is a 2-night event, July 30th and July 31st. That all goes down at HWE Final Hour. I'm your host, Skeletor. I'm a former HWE World Champion. Am I a former HWE Global Champion? I'm not sure. I don't even know what I've won. That is quite embarrassing. But up next, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased, or maybe not so pleased, because I don't like the dude. He's my biggest rival ever. It's Eminem. It's not Eminem. It's Damien Skull. I'm just joking. Damien Skull, welcome to HWE Recall. I am glad to have you here in our first episode.
I'm not glad to be here.
All right. All right. I'm actually quite afraid, Damien, to ask you some questions. I'm afraid of the answer I'm gonna get. I could get some crazy answers. I suppose. All right, Damien. All right, pretty awkward. Anyways, Damien, Stamina Slam Gauntlet Match. It was an 8-man Gauntlet match. You weren't in the match. Hunter Jacob was, who defended his global championship. You, as champion, would you have liked to participate in such a match, a gauntlet match? Whether you're entering a number 1 or number 8, who cares? This is a huge, grueling matchup. Would you have liked to have to defend that world championship at the time? At the time, because you're no longer world champion, but at the time.
Honestly, I wouldn't have given a shit because nobody in that match is on my level. And to be honest, they're not gonna be here after the show's gone, but I still will. So I would have loved to be their final relevancy. Yeah.
All right, and I believe. Did you watch the match backstage at the time, or did you not give a shit?
You said it yourself. I didn't give a shit.
You
I
didn't give a
probably
shit.
fell asleep if I watched it.
Of course. All right. Is there anyone who impressed you? Actually, you didn't watch the match, so who cares? Forget that question, Damien. I guess. Look, you're kind of limiting my questions if you didn't watch it backstage, but of course you didn't watch it, Damien. I guess, what was the backstage atmosphere after that match? Are there things that you'd noticed?
Depressing, and besides that, everybody crying like a little bitch.
All right. All right. Okay. Let's keep it family friendly, please.
I mean, everybody crying like a little baby.
Thank you. All right.
Come on, you know me better than that. I'm not really the family-friendly guy anymore. But go ahead. You gotta get your advertisements.
Of course. You have never changed. I guess if you were in the match, let's say you're starting at number 1, how far would you have gone? Would you have gone to the end? Do you think so?
Yeah, I know
Yeah?
so.
You would have pinned 7 other superstars.
Yeah.
All right. So if I go through this list, you would have, let's say you replace that. Instead of Soul re-entering the match twice, you would have been in that Gauntlet match and you would have taken one of his spots. Let's say you come in at number 1. You're telling me you would have pinned Zhane Saint Savior to start, then Soul, then Gladiator, then Sinister, then Skeletor, then Master Mexico, then Black Stinger, then Haunted Jacob. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. And I mean, some of these guys I've already beaten. Half of the other guys don't even stand a chance against me. So, yeah, I'm sure.
All right. And I wonder what Zane would have thought of that, because Zane did come in at number 1 and he had one great run despite being eliminated by Gladiator at number 3, but that's due to a distraction. You think that even with distractions, even with the like bloodline rules format to it, where it's just people coming in, you would have survived? You would have survived? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Devin in the chat, Haunted Jacob is not on this episode. No, he might be in the chat. Talking about Haunted Jacob.
Hold on. If you want to go find him, go look at the baby gap. You might find him there.
All right. I should have expected that, guys, from Damien Skull here. Man, you're like kind of limiting my questions here. I don't know what to ask.
You're a host. You know how this works. This ain't your first rodeo, kid. Come on.
Okay. I guess I'll mention it. Skeletor in the match eliminated multiple opponents before eventually losing to Haunted Jacob till the end. He had one of the MVP performances, as well as Zhane Saint Savior, who finally pinned Soul. What do these moments mean to you as a performer? These moments that don't necessarily involve winning, but maybe just delivering an excellent match. Do you think winning matters to you, Damien?
It does. Because winning has got me to where I am, and the losers that I beat aren't even here with me, are they?
All right. Damien, I'd like to read you a comment on the live from I See the World. He says, you lost to Creed recently, Damien, but you did do a great job. That was a great match. But that's kind of, and that's, look, I'm sorry, I'm talking to you with respect here. But that's what I mean by, does winning really matter? Because in your case, I did see that NZKW match that you had with Creed, and it was quite phenomenal, and you looked quite amazing, but you lost. And I don't want to mention it, but at HWE All War Ahead 2025 versus someone named Skeletor, you lost your world championship, but you had a great performance. So Damien, I'm gonna ask you again, does winning really matter?
You know what? Maybe not winning a match, but you know what? I won respect of some fans from NZK, and I won the war between me and you when I exposed you, and everybody saw the lies that you've been telling them right in front of their face that they couldn't see. So yeah, winning in some cases does matter most of the time. Whether you lose a match or not, if you can win something out of it, maybe a lesson to be learned, win that, then it does.
I think I'd have to agree with you, because example, at All We're Ahead, you did lose your match, but at the end of the day, that's what the fans say, but at the end of the day, you won. But whatever. I don't want to talk about that. We all know what happened after the match. We're not going to Re-explain. Yeah. Fuck off. All right. Damien, let's go back to Stamina Slam a little here. We had and I asked it to Zane. We had Haunted Jacob, who was the global champion, and he entered last. Do you find that fair as a champion, or do you think he should have entered at the beginning? But then that would possibly be unfair for him. But you being a champion at that time, what would you find ethical, I guess?
He should start at number 1 because you see, we don't all just get to start at the top because sometimes our names aren't Skeletor, Haunted Jacob, Asalis, or Soul. No, sometimes the people who actually been building their careers didn't start at the top, didn't start at the easy advantage. No, we've had the hard advantages to where we had to figure out a way through it and win. So if you want to prove that you can be a champion, you want to prove that you can carry a show, then you got to go through all the tests. And if you can't pass it, you're not built for it. If that makes any sense, that's my answer.
So you're saying that if you're the champion, you sort of have to prove that you're a champion? So you should
Yeah,
enter at 1.
it's easy. It's easier to win a championship than to keep it. Honestly, because I could win a championship beating somebody under 5 seconds, but then go out to defend it in a 5-hour match. Not that a match should go on that long, but it can happen sometimes if you don't know who your opponent is or what they're capable of.
Right, but I guess in how you're explaining it, I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but does winning the championship even reward you of something? Because if you're going to enter at number 1, then what's the gift that you get as champion? What?
That people respect you and respect you as a champion, and that you get to be called. Well, you get the right to actually be called a champion. Because somebody could cheap shot their way in, win a championship, doesn't mean they deserve that. But you earn it, then it's yours. And I'm not going to be a baby face and come out here and give this little superhero speech. I still don't care. I'll find the title the way I want to.
Yeah.
Because I've earned that.
Looking back today now, you talked about a champion that should enter at 1, but as we saw on Stamina Slam in the Gauntlet match, Haunted Jacob entered last, and he then defeated Skeletor in that final match. So does the right winner, does it still stand? Do you find it right that Jacob entered last and won, or do you find this a super shortcut for Jacob?
A super shortcut. Because look at the guys who are fighting their way in that match. Already tired, already beat up. Well, they're not strong anyways. But a bunch of kindergartners fighting in a match. And then when the teacher finally steps in and tells them it's time to go to recess, then everything's over with. No. It is easy for him. Because he still has energy in his body. He still has a fight. They don't. And what? They're all supposed to fight each other so the champion can walk out easily? No, the champion should come first. The champion should prove why he's the champion. And not just a politician, not just a puppet for you.
All right. And so we talked about Stamina Slam. I'd like, first of all, there is a question for you in the chat by I See the World. He says, do you respect Creed more now, Damien? And is it over between you two?
I respect him a hell of a lot more than I respect you. Oh, I'm sorry, a heck of a lot. We got to keep it family friendly, guys, even though he cusses like on every other live. Number 2, it's not the end. When I faced you my first ever time, that wasn't the end.
Not at all.
But the difference is I've grown to respect him a little bit. Me and you, the respect keeps going down. So yes, I do respect him.
I'd like to not ask you about NZKW, but just a quick, are you enjoying your time over there? Is that the future for Damien Skull going forward after Final Hour?
Maybe.
There's no more.
Nope. That's for you guys to find out.
All right. Well, about your future at Final Hour, it will be you against Shakeem Empire in that career versus career match on July 30th and July 31st. But more specifically, July 31st. It was announced yesterday that Damien Skull and Shakeem Empire will face on night 2. Whether it is the main event or not actually does not matter, as Damien is probably the biggest matchup in your career. Why? Because it is a career versus career match. Any short and quick thoughts on that?
Boring, a waste of time, and a waste of a match.
All right. I thought you'd be more whatever. All right. I expected a different answer. It's a Damien, don't you understand? This is a career versus career match.
It's not the first time I put somebody's career in the garbage. I mean, Hardcore Wolf was another example.
All right then. No more thoughts? That's it? That's it on Final Hour.
For a couple minutes would be awesome.
You have nothing to say for Shakeem? Not even? No?
Oh, I got one more thing for him. After you leave, when you leave, you can go screw yourself.
All right. Well, Damien, I don't got any more questions for you. Whether that's unfortunately or fortunately for you. Hey, Damien, I wish you good luck at Final Hour.
Yeah, you can go screw yourself too.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Damien Skull with us on HWE Recall, who I guess called out Haunted Jacob for being a baby to have entered at number 8 in the Gauntlet Match. He believes as a champion you should enter at number 1. But it was a Stamina Slam that Haunted Jacob defeated myself. He defeated Skeletor in that final Stamina Slam Gauntlet Match. Skeletor, little quick note, he had to go through Sinister, Master Mexico, the Black Stinger, and then Soul for 4 total eliminations. Ended up the runner-up, but many considered it the performance of the night. But then it was Haunted Jacob who came, defeated Skeletor, had a successful global title defense. I believe it was his first global title defense, so that was quite a first one. But again, does him entering at number 8 take a little of that spark? Probably, at least according to Damien Skull. Chris Pukes, who says in the comments that Damien, you did a great match against Creed. You should have won. You are definitely right about you don't have to win to get respect. And sorry, Skeletor, but Damien does have a better legacy than you. Well, I won't argue with your take. I don't want to create any debates, but Damien Skull, you heard it there. We'll be back after this short break, and we will resume HWE Recall with Shakeem Empire, the main character himself, right after this short break. darkness, find the light. As the world shatters, we rise in unity, defying demise. Welcome everyone to HWE Recall episode 1. We just ended with Damien Skull, who had harsh words, and especially for Haunted Jacob. We've been talking about that Stamina Slam matchup that will air, don't forget, this Tuesday. This 8-man Gauntlet match this Tuesday to air as part of our first ever episode for season 2 of HWE/MEW Classic. It's a fun one, and Damien Skull had harsh words for Haunted Jacob. Why? Because Haunted Jacob said, actually not Haunted Jacob said, but Haunted Jacob in that match entered at number 8, and Damien did not find that very fair. I'd like to say that he had words for Shakeem Empire. He didn't really have much, but we're gonna find out later tonight if Shakeem Empire has words for Damien Skull. But now Shakeem Empire, who's here with us to talk about Stamina Slam. Shakeem Empire, welcome to HWE Recall. How are we doing today? Oh, do we hear you, Shakeem? We can't hear you, I believe.
Right.
You're here. How are you doing, Shakeem?
Well, let's talk business. Okay. But in all seriousness, Skeletor, I'm doing well. How you been, man?
I've been well, thanks a lot. Thank you for joining us on HWE Recall as our final participant to talk about mostly the Stamina Slam Gauntlet match that will air on Tuesday as part of the HWE/MEW Classic. Shakeem, before joining HWE, I believe we first saw you at All War Ahead as our host of All War Ahead.
That was me.
That was there. And even at Final Battle, when one of your songs was the official theme song for Final Battle, I remember it. It was awesome. So we got a little stint there of Shakeem Empire, but we really got it later. Actually, it was revealed at All War Ahead that you had stolen Sinister's mask, and you went through this identity chase. I don't think it worked out, right? I think you're back as Shakeem.
Yeah. Let me speak on that for a second. I went through identity crisis. I mean, I attacked Sinister, yeah, because maybe it was my ego, or maybe because I don't want hack supremacy being involved in your match.
Mm.
But like, I had to do what I had to do. And yes, I was giving Sinister his mask back out of respect.
I like that.
We're not gonna be friends, but I respect the guy at least.
I like that. I'm glad that you have this respect. I don't know if you saw. I just talked to Damien Skull, who you will face at final hour. We're gonna talk about that later, but let's talk about Stamina Slam. Um, when someone said, I back then, you've always been a viewer. You're an HWE fan first, but once you hear Stamina Slam 2025 and that 8-man Gauntlet match, what do you think? What's the first words that come out of your mouth?
The first thoughts were like, who's gonna be in a Gauntlet match?
Mm.
Like, we have big stars, but not from Midnight Fatality back then, but not from Demolition. Hunter Jacob, Master Mexico, you were in it. Who was in it? Black Stinger.
Absolutely.
And so Damien, and no, not Damien. Zhane Saint Savior. All the guys are Midnight Fatality side, and they put on one hell of a show.
For sure. I mean, how many huge stories we got out of the match. We had Zhane Saint Savior finally defeating Soul. We had Soul, who then returned later and caused Zhane Saint Savior. We had Gladiator, who made his return as part of a mystery entrant. Sinister, who entered the match, very angry, obviously, after he lost the HWE Global title at Extreme Yard. We had Master Mexico, who nearly shocked the world when he almost pinned Skeletor in that Gauntlet match. Skeletor, who went on a huge 4-elimination streak, and Hunter Jacob, who at the end survived and retained. Here's my next question for you, Shakeem. Where does this match rank in HW history? I mean, you've seen huge matches. Let me name a few. We've got Wyatt against Damien Skull at Hail to the King. We've got Damien Skull against Haunted Jacob at HW Final Battle. We've got Haunted Jacob against Soul at All War Ahead. We've got Zhane Saint Savior against Sinister at Outspoken. I'm just naming matches. Where would you rank this Gauntlet match that lasted an hour? The whole show.
That match, an hour, man. I'm gonna rank it as one of the top 4 of HWE. One of the golden matches to ever witness.
Absolutely. And this match, as a reminder to all, airs on Tuesday as part of a HWE/MEW Classic episode. It all goes down as our first episode of Season 2 this Tuesday. Shakeem Empire. Which wrestler, in your opinion, benefited the most out of this match? People say Haunted Jacob, obviously. He won. Do you think there's someone else that got a victory, at least in his heart?
Interesting question. Okay, this is gonna be a controversial take, but in my opinion, it has to be Master Mexico. I had to say it.
Oh,
because he showed out his underdog skills in that match. So anything, Master Mexico.
Master Mexico. I didn't even name him in the options in my head. I thought you would say like maybe Zhane Saint Savior, Sinister, Skeletor, Master Mexico. Hey, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. We like it. Shakeem, talking about Master Mexico, you mentioned it. I guess showed his underdog skills. Now that we know what happened at Extreme Yard 2025, where Skeletor faced Master Mexico, and we all know what happened, where Master Mexico revealed himself as Haunted Jacob. Where is this story going to go at final hour? Is Haunted Jacob really Master Mexico, or do you think he possibly attacked the real Master Mexico and infiltrated himself? We all saw that story Haunted Jacob has joined EJW. We all saw that, and finally turned out to be untrue, as he showed up in HWE and is now a double champion. What happened? What are your thoughts on that event? What's your thoughts on that whole situation?
Now that you're bringing it up, I was like, we feel bamboozled. Like, I thought he was fired. I thought he was gone.
Exactly.
But like, the more I thought about it, the more I realized why he did what he did. Because like, he didn't want to be involved in the Final Dominion business.
Mm.
But I get it, I think that in his mind, Hunter Jacob wants to be the hero, want to be the guy, because he didn't want to be involved in this expulsion. What's up?
Shakeem Empire, who says that Jacob wanted to end the Final Dominion. That was his goal, and he did. Shakeem ended it. Sorry, not Shakeem. Haunted Jacob ended it literally like that. Came back as Master Mexico, is double champion, and at least we believe is that he ended the whole Final Dominion in a matter of seconds. What's your thoughts on that?
Like, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. One more question back to me one more time.
My question was, when Haunted Jacob defeated Skeletor, and it seems like he ended the Final Dominion like that. I mean, Skeletor lost his championship, and now what's going on with Asalis, the general manager? We haven't seen him since All War Ahead, and now there's you, who seems to have ended this whole Final Dominion thing. So, what's the status of the Final Dominion in your opinion?
That is a solid question. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Anyone can have their own opinion about it. I don't care. The Final Dominion is dead. Like, it's been going on for way too long. I feel like that we've been trying to take over HWE over for our egos, because we just wanted the power. We just wanted the titles. We just wanted the power to us, so that we will prove to ourselves that we are the bigger team in HWE. But now I realize that I turned into what I became. I turned into who I did not like. So, out of my fairness, I feel that I need to find the Shakeem Empire that I used to know, not this hungry bastard.
Absolutely. Back to the Gauntlet match at Stamina Slam. You said a superstar that stood out to you, and it was Master Mexico. How about as a moment? What moment stands out the most? Is it Zhane Saint Savior defeating Soul for the first time? Is it Jacob retaining that global title? Is it Skeletor going on a huge streak of 4 eliminations? What is the moment that stands out the most?
There's a lot of moments that stand out the most, but I can honestly say that Zhane Saint Savior beating Soul finally for the first time. I did that because Zhane, I believe that he is the future of HWE. He and I may not see eye to eye in the past, but when we had that match, I like, he beat me. He beat me in a match one time. And I feel like that he might be the next star, which is why he deserves to be champion in HWE, because he busts his ass on more than anybody in this business.
Absolutely. You're really right. Shakeem, do you wish you had participated in that match? And if you had, what number would you have gone? What would you have liked to go? Do you want to go number 1 in a Gauntlet match? Do you want to go last, in the middle? What do you think?
That is honestly an interesting question, because like, if I was participating in HWE, which I was world champion at the time, I would have participated in that match. I would have been number 4. I would have put on one hell of a match with any other superstar, and I would have been global champion if I wanted to.
No, that's maybe, maybe you could have gone till the end and then face Haunted Jacob at the end. Look, I tried to go till the end. I had to go through Sinister, guys like Soul. I made myself go to the end. I went to the end, and unfortunately for
You
me,
did.
it did not end my way. Sometimes it's really that ending that frustrates you, but it builds you. Because look, after I went to All the War Ahead, and I beat Damien Skull. So that goes back to a topic that I had with that I spoke about with Damien Skull about does winning really matter? I'm asking that
Mm.
same question to you. Does winning matter, and especially in a gauntlet match, does winning really matter?
I'm glad to bring this up because I watched this match last week, but in AAA, it was original Al Guardia Americano versus the Al Guardia Americano.
The perfect example.
That was a fucking 5-star phenomenal match. And I can
Absolutely.
honestly say, wins and loss don't matter, but the character does. Because you see, like these two put on a banger of a match. Like I like how they were booked in AAA
Absolutely.
because the Al Guardia Americano is the babyface. Now he's heading for the world championship later down the line. While the original one, we all know that's Chad Gable. He's heading to a new path, which is I think it's gonna be a babyface or something on SmackDown. I don't know what's the booking for the main roster anymore. But all I can say is wins or losses don't matter, but the character does. Growth.
Well said. The character and also the match itself. If you deliver your match, all the fans are going to be, yo, that was insane. Props to Chad Gable. Let's say, let's take that example. So it's exactly that, and I would have to agree with you. Shakeem, let's go back to Stamina Slam. Sometimes you don't win, and you have this great performance, and everyone respects you, and you win, in your heart. But sometimes I guess it just does not go your way, right? Sometimes it's just your worst performance of all time, and you must live through it. Do you think someone at Stamina Slam, sorry, had this kind of performance? Like, let's talk maybe about Soul. Soul, who enters at number 2, loses to Zhane Saint Savior, then comes back to go face Skeletor. He wants another shot, but he enters twice in a Gauntlet match, steals someone's spot potentially, and still loses. That's 2
Mm.
L's in one night. Is that there's no winning in that case, right? That is embarrassing.
It has to be like let's take Edge for example, because back in Nowhere L, he was WWE champion at the time. Then
Mm-hmm.
he lost the title, and then later that night he took Kofi Kingston's spot, become World Heavyweight Champion the same night. I don't believe that luck happened twice like that. So with
Absolutely.
that being said, it's kind of an L move, but I get where you're coming from. If he wants to win, I understand that. But
Do you think though that still because look, he took 2 L's, but I believe he just took this other L in a way as he enters twice. This is a match. We have a mystery superstar announced, and Soul takes the spot. He's already entered the match. He's gotten his shot, but he enters again. I find it baffling, and I'd like to know what you think. I believe that's just an extra L. A lot more embarrassment, and imagine the hate he got after the match by fans. What do you think?
I mean, I get his frustration though. But if he won that match, that would have been history making. But things happen. You know what I'm saying? And like he took his L and went home. Let's just say it that.
Absolutely. I have a comment on the live from Super Mario Plush 2006. He says that he still finds it cool that Shakeem was able to join HWE. Um, so yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, Super Mario, for that comment. Shakeem likes you a lot, I guess.
Thank you very much. Heavy supporter.
Now, we're going to take a short break, Shakeem, but we'll be back after, and we're going to talk about Final Hour. But before that, let's take a short break, everyone, and we'll be back with some more Shakeem Empire. Save the storm. Save the night. In the darkness, find the light. As the world shatters, we rise. In unity, defying demise. Welcome back, everyone, to HWE Recall Episode 1. I had the gratitude to talk to Zhane Saint Savior at the beginning, and Damien Skull, and Shakeem Empire, but we are not done with Shakeem Empire. Shakeem, welcome back to HWE Recall.
Thank you.
We talked about Stamina Slam and what's going to re-premiere on the classic episode for the first ever Season 2 episode, all on Tuesday. Don't miss the 8-man Gauntlet match this Tuesday. If you didn't watch it when it went live in, I believe, January of 2025, well, this is your chance to relive it. And if you already watched it, well, watch it again, god damn it. All right? So, Shakeem, Final Hour. Let's talk about that, all right? You're facing Damien Skull in a career versus career match. It is the golden one against the main character. It is teacher versus student. Shakeem, why are you going to win? Why are you going to win?
It's not that I'm going to win. is that I have to win. I need this dub because I felt like a joke after One Last Stand. I feel like a joke after my last match because I couldn't. I feel like I didn't perform my best, but now I need to bring the Shakeem Empire that I used to know back so I can face Damien Skull
Absolutely.
at Final Hour on night 2.
And you might have saw, but I did speak to Damien Skull about it, and he had nothing to say. Do you think he's overlooking you in a way? Do you think that? Do you think he doesn't find you that interesting and that seriously? He doesn't take you seriously. That's clear. That is clear. Night and day.
Well, despite his negativity, I honestly, him and I, we used to start it out. It was me, him, Zach, even Zane. We're all 4 of us paved the way for this business, and now we're here years later, 1-on-1 for this championship, another title.
Blah, blah, blah.
Speaking of the devil,
you really just don't know how to shut the fuck up.
okay.
First of all, when you look at me, take off your Temu fucking fake ass Ray-Bans because I want to talk to you man to man, eye to eye. We know what you're hiding, and it's that you're scared. You're washed. You're old. Nobody takes you serious. Not even your stuffed animals that you wrestle take you serious.
All right, Damien, let's not go there. All right.
Okay.
It's not the time.
Or I'm sorry, maybe
It's okay,
even your
it's
own
okay.
music career is a joke. Because you see, you think you're teaching me things. The only thing you've taught me how
Oh,
coward you are, how much you sit there and you promise me things to put me into your company and then throw me the middle finger because you and Zach didn't like who I was. And Skeletor, you can shut up for a minute because this is between me and him. This has gone out for too damn long. All I want to do is take you out and send you on the retirement bench with your buddy Zach. I've been the one carrying this show. You've been riding off of my wagon, off of my success. You aren't nothing more than an emo rock star living his fantasies out while destroying everybody else's dreams. You are useless. That's why I don't take you serious. What are you going to do? Hit me in the head with a guitar? Put me to sleep with one of your boring-ass songs that nobody listens to? What are you going to do? Make another Instagram post talking about how you want to get away from the world? It's an alien takeover. You want to go there? Because I maybe had put your song on my pay-per-view at one point, but that's the only time I've ever recognized you. So if you want my recognition and you want my respect, earn it, you sorry piece of shit. Because I don't respect you. I don't respect anything you've done. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to leave you lifeless in that ring. And hopefully they can pick your corpse up off the ground and bring it back to your family and give a nice sincere apology note. And don't worry, I'll pay for the expenses and be the new leader of your family.
Damien.
Is that it?
Come on, Damien. Let's not go there.
Shut up.
Is that it?
No. I'm sick of that little goofy ass smile you put. What? Did Skeletor tell you to do that? Does he still got his hand up your ass like a ventriloquist? Is he still making the moves for you? Because he don't do it for me. That's the difference. You might have taught me how to get into this. You might have, hey, look at me when I'm talking to you or we're going to have some issues. You might have taught me things about how to be a wrestler, how to cut a promo, how to come out here and kiss everybody's ass to make you look good. But I'm not going to do that because there's a difference. I break out of the system. I break the rules. I rebel against the company. You sit there and you take it like a good boy. That's exactly what you do. You
All right,
sit
that's it.
there like a
That's it.
little puppy.
No. This is where I talk and you listen. You draw the line and I have enough of
I'm
hearing you.
listening.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm listening.
Damien, yeah, you may be an HWE World Champion. You may be the face of the business. But don't forget who brought you to the dance. I've been doing this for what, 10, 13 years? Doing this for a long time while you was in diapers, buddy. Don't forget that. You may be world champion, but at the end of the day, you are still just a kid. You are a little ass kid compared to me, buddy. In that final hour,
Why
I'm gonna beat your ass.
you're gonna beat my ass? You know
I'm
what?
gonna
I got
end
something for that.
everything that you stand for.
Uh-oh.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen, I had to go and print out a handmade copy by your daddy, Skeletor. And it says that the following match, which takes place at final hour, career versus career, Shakeem Mitchell, Shakeem Empire, with his boring ass promos and things that he's built up towards this match, will be facing the all-time great Damien Skull. Oh, I can't cuss on here. Okay, I gotta follow up. And it says not only is it a career versus career, but buddy, it also mentions the fact that you're the reason why the original channel got deleted. Why the original HWE channel got deleted is because you felt that it had nothing more to live for because Fatality was your home. Then, now, something that's been added is that if I win, not only does your sorry ass leave to go be an emo pop rock star or whatever, you are also going to hand me your channel. Everything. And I'll take that little plushy wrestling company and burn it in the ground like you tried to do my career. Every single time.
You're gonna cut Damien.
So you know what?
You're gonna cut Damien Skull.
There's the paper. I've already signed it. I don't expect your sorry ass to sign it, so I already printed out your name. But your whole empire, you're gonna need more than an empire. You're gonna need Zach. You're gonna need Zane. You're gonna need somebody.
Off the rails.
All the help you can get.
Yeah, don't take your time.
So I'm done. That's all I have to say. And excuse my language, kids. Parents, cover your kids' ears at home. But Shakeem, you can go fuck yourself.
Wait, Damien, sit your little sorry ass back here so I got something to say to you. Let me tell you something, Damien.
All right.
Let me tell you something. You want my channel, you want my career? Fine. I'll put it all on the line. But do not let these little stuffed animals fool you. Do not let any of this fool you, okay? I can still whoop your ass. Remember that, because I am the main character, Golden One.
Oh, you're a joke. You're a joke to me. You're a joke to these fans. You're a joke to your family. Listen, I don't want to hear anything about how I should take you serious. I'm going to take the guys. Hold on. The champion speaking. Well, the guy that was actually a champion in this company and you weren't and never will be because it's going to die, just like your career, at final hour.
Okay.
I'm not going to take the guy who got his ass beat by SpongeBob and Mickey Mouse and the whole raid and parade. I'm not taking you serious. I won't. If anything, it's like I'm facing a stuffed animal because you're soft. You don't have a barrier. You don't have nothing to protect yourself with. The only thing that's been protecting you is this company and its management. Anytime you've gotten low in your point where they're not paying you enough, you're not making it out in your career, you can't go fly to somewhere to go face Zach in a match, HWE has helped you. When your show, NCW or SWW, which changes more, when that's going to die, you still ride off a Skeletor. So all I got to say is bring your A game. Bring whatever game you got, but I'm not playing games. I'm not here to bullshit with you. I am going to be your teacher. And that lesson is that you should have never fucked around with Damien Skull. I'll see you at final hour. That's all I have to say. Oh, and one more thing. Go fuck yourself.
He can talk always. He can talk his shit all he wants. He called me soft. He called me washed. You know, Shakeem Empire is a lot of things, but one thing that Shakeem Empire is not is soft.
Yeah.
Final hour, I'm gonna show him who's soft. I'm gonna show everybody. This is for the HWE fans. This is for the Empire fans. This is for the fans of this business. That Shakeem Empire is back to whoop his ass and teach him who was the real main event, who was the real teacher all along. And that was the main character, the star, to show the hero of the story, and the leader of the Empire Nation. Shakeem fucking Empire. Good night.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was not expecting that at all. But Shakeem Empire, who gets interrupted by Damien Skull. I will have a talk with Damien Skull. That is not how you act, especially not how you act on an HWE Recall episode, the first one. And I told him beforehand, we talked. I said, look, Damien, I know what you're capable of. Just don't start anything on HWE Recall. We're here to discuss history, we're here to talk about Stamina Slam, and give some little hints and hype up Final Hour. That was not it, Damien, at all, and, whew. Well, guys, that was your first ever HWE Recall episode. It was, let's say, it was surprising. It was great. It was great. It was great. Without that final part, it was great. Zhane Saint Savior, thank you very much for joining us. Damien Skull, I am actually not going to thank him. Shakeem Empire, thank you very much for joining us. And we will see each other next Sunday for another HWE Recall episode. If not, well, on Tuesday, we have the HWE/MEW Classic episode involving the match that we just talked about today. The Stamina Slam 8-man Gauntlet Match, where we saw Zhane Saint Savior defeat Soul in match number 1. We saw Gladiator defeat Zhane Saint Savior in match number 2. We saw Sinister then defeat Gladiator in match number 3. We then had Skeletor defeat Sinister in match number 4. Skeletor, who went on to defeat Master Mexico, the Black Stinger, and Soul, but then he fell to Haunted Jacob, who retained as global champion in what was an epic 1 hour long gauntlet match for Stamina Slam. And ladies and gentlemen, Final Hour, July 30th and July 31st. Damien Skull versus Shakeem Empire. Career versus career. Live on YouTube on July 30th and July 30th. 31st, sorry, 8/7 Central. Also confirmed, Gladiator takes on Sinister in a last man standing match. It all goes down at Final Hour. And obviously, the Wyatt, the Golden Weight Champion, makes his return to participate in a street fight against who? You're going to have to find out on July 30th and July 31st. Don't miss it. Also this week, Raw episode 6 live from Cardiff, UK, as we are on the road to Elimination Chamber live in London at the Wembley Stadium. That is part of the WWE 2K26 Universe Mode. That is for that series. Again, we're going to see you for Stamina Slam. To relive it on Tuesday, I would like to thank again everyone who participated in this first ever HWE Recall episode. It was a great one. It was amazing. And we're going to be back live next Sunday. The match that we're going to be discussing and the participants that will be discussing the match, it will all be revealed later this week. Maybe an announcement coming later tonight with the whole schedule of the matches that will be discussed. Ladies and gentlemen, expect more lives going forward, whether it's Recall, whether it's a kickoff show, a press conference, a face-off, whatever. But we're going to discuss a lot on here. And please, fans, join in. Comment down below. Questions, and questions. That's what we want. But for Recall Episode 1, it was a blast. And we're going to see you next this Tuesday for Classic Season 2 to begin with the 8-man Gauntlet match. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.